I'm too tired because I got all the news. You guys do it.
He's too tired.
I hate you all.
True's too tired.
All right. Carrie, this is you.
Excelsior!
All right. So currently we have Deadpool everywhere on screen in the comics with a new series relaunching him, some miniseries with Wolverine all over the place. Then, of course, Venom is everywhere currently as well with the launch of Venom War. You know who else is everywhere and has these two characters in common? He was just on Splash Pages last week. That's right, Cullen Bunn. So it's only fair that Cullen is throwing Deadpool in as a wrench to foil the zombiotes in the Venom War world, with the Venom War Deadpool. All right. Zombiotes. According to yes, they are zombiotes. We have with artist Rob DeSalvo and cover art by Giuseppe Camuncoli, Deadpool is out to kill all the Venoms. But is there anyone in the Marvel Universe who actually likes Wade enough to help him? We'll find out September 18th when you can find it in your local comic book store.
What's his name's gonna help him? Metal guy.
Cable.
Guy. Wow.
Metal guy?
Okay. Metal guy.
Yeah.
That's his name, damn it.
The metal guy?
That metal guy.
Juggernaut, Colossus, Iron Man.
Colossus. Thank you. Colossus.
Okay, because when you said the metal guy, I was like, are you talking about Cable? Because he has a metal arm?
Loves Deadpool.
I can't. Get out.
Okay. So, moving on.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Duck isn't typically seen as one of the comics world's top warriors. However, when it comes to protecting his family, this often unlucky duck has accomplished some impressive feats. This fall, he'll prove himself worthy of Thor's power in the upcoming Marvel and Disney comic, What If Donald Duck Became Thor, #1. The story, based on a plot by Steve Belling and written by Riccardo Secchi, with art by Lorenzo Pastrovicchio, features Donald Duck taking his nephews Huey, Dewey, Louie on a class trip to a Viking ruin. There he discovers the stone ducks from Saturn are planning to invade Earth. Fortunately, Donald finds an enchanted cane that grants him Thor's thunderous abilities. In addition to the main cover by Lorenzo Pastrovicchio, the comic will have 3 variant covers. These include works by popular artist Phil Noto, Peach Momoko, and a special cover by the legendary Thor writer artist Walter Simonson, which parodies one of his famous Thor covers. That is dope. That's the one right there.
Is that the one you would get Walt to sign at Terrificon this year?
Yes.
That's a big
yes, sir.
I think it's so funny that I know for a fact that you will have 2 books to get signed, and both of them are Donald Duck or like just Disney Duck related. You're going to have the Infinity Dime for Jason Aaron, and now this for Walt Simonson.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
No, don't get me wrong. Like that just speaks to Char's childlike nature.
They're hitting chords over there. I mean, they've had the Disney people for so long, and now they're just starting to use them. It's kind of interesting.
It's just finally. I will give once again, Peach Momoko. That is just a good cover.
It's a bit different than her usual stuff. I don't think she could really adapt Donald too much differently than he is without making it an unrecognizable character. I really enjoy this one though.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, and the Phil Noto one is pretty funny too. But I will say the Simonson. I was like, wow, I never thought I'd see Donald Duck Thor by Walt, but here we are.
There we go.
And no Frank Miller variant.
All right.
That's all we're going to say there. And moving on.
All right.
Oh yeah, this one's one of mine.
This would be Drew.
Yes, would be me. The Tin Cup Society. I mean, the Tin Can. So as we've seen, Rick Morender is totally killing it at Image right now. I mean, he's 4 issues into his series, the Napalm Society. He just released his book, The Grommets, which is about skateboarding, which is awesome. I've read both of them. And now the Giant General line is releasing Tin Can Society, which is a new cyberpunk superpowered adventure from Rick Morender, showrunner, writer Peter Warren, and an artist, Francesco Mobile. So in the story, you have Johnny Moore, who's a world famous tech mogul known for pioneering mobility aids for people with disabilities like himself. But he also moonlights as a metal suited vigilante called Caliburn. But when Johnny is found murdered, his suit stolen, his estranged childhood best friends are going to reunite to solve the mystery of his murder. So it's been described that this is a heartfelt and human look at the evolution of friendships across a lifetime, at disability and ableism, and the destructive power of fame.
Sounds like a Stand By Me kind of.
Yeah, like Stand By Me meets superhero origin story.
Yeah.
So it's going to be available September 11th with 3 covers. So the first one will be Mobile and Chris Cherky. The cover B is by Bengal, who is Rick's collaboration on Napalm Lullaby. And the last incentive is by Yannick Paquette and Chukri. So I don't know. This looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I've been enjoying Napalm Lullaby. It's a little odd, but still good. The Grommets I thoroughly have been enjoying, as I do love a 1990s skateboard coming of age tales. But this looks really freaking cool, and it kind of has that estranged friend reuniting to figure out a murder, kind of like a Stand By Me meets Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, September 11th. Check this out. This sounds pretty great.
Did you see they're doing an animated series of The Watchmen?
Yes,
I was kind of shocked. I was like,
you got to keep milking that cow somehow, Jeremy.
yeah. I was just like, we've done the movie, we've done a little TV
show,
series, and
yep.
and now the animated series. Huh.
Yep. There we are. But like I said, these pages look absolutely fantastic. So please check out Tin Can Society, everyone. All right, what's next, Carrie?
Beautiful.
Moving on. Jar Jar.
Oh yeah, this looks brutal.
It does, and it sounds sad. A new
I know.
Black Label series will give a hard-boiled twist to the classic DC superhero Plastic Man. Plastic Man No More is a 4-issue series by Eisner-nominated Christopher Cantwell and artist Alex Linz. The story explores what happens when Eel O'Brien's powers begin to fail unexpectedly. Cantwell draws inspiration from a renowned horror movie director for this concept. When I think of Plastic Man, I immediately think of David Cronenberg, Cantwell said. There's a body horror element to Plastic Man's story that has always intrigued me. I started wondering, how would Plastic Man die? Is he immortal? I then imagined the slow, nasty breakdown of plastics and petroleum products. This led me to research depolymerization in the process of unzipping, envisioning what might happen if eel's cellular structure started collapsing. The first issue is set to release on September 4th. Will feature covers by Linz, Michael Allred, Chris Samney, and Tyler Boss. Check out these covers and more at your LCS.
Yeah. That man.
The way he talks about just the breakdown of the petroleums and stuff. I'm imagining this is not going to be a non-painful way to go.
I think the thing that I really enjoy is that, again, you always think of Eel O'Brien as, as a silly character. So it's kind of nice to have this serious story, and especially because it's not just him dying, but he wants to try to save his son, who might have inherited the same problems. So it's just going to be really interesting to see that. And of course, you're dealing with Plastic Man, so you have that wide variety of shapes and things. So that's kind of the attempt of juxtaposing the humor with the horror, I guess, which is definitely not something you're seeing with Cronenberg.
Seeing him melt here is just kind of like, oh wow, it's going to be dark.
Yeah, you don't see Reed Richards doing that.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. All right, Reed. All right, what's next, Kari?
Okay, next is me. In Image News, I'm never going to get this name right. Pornsak Pichashode has embarked on a new project he's calling the Horizon Experiment. He's referred to it as a publishing and incubation program. And basically what it is he grabbed a bunch of his friends and asked them all to throw a protagonist of color into a popular genre where if the main character's background was changed, the story wouldn't work. The resulting one-shots are all going to be pilots for potential series, depending on how well they catch on. And along with Pichashode, Will Dennis will be co-editing the project. So the first book that we have coming to us is The Manchurian by Pichashode, Terry and Rachel Dodson, and Jeff Powell, which will feature a James Bond who is half English and half Chinese, who will be running his missions in America for China. Next up, we have The Sacred Damned, featuring a story about a Muslim exorcist. This is going to be a new horror brought to us by Sabir Pirzada, Michael Walsh, and Becca Carey. And that just has me thoroughly excited. I'm sure you're not surprised at all.
Yeah. Heard Michael Walsh.
It looks, it's like, oh, I'm in. There we go.
Who knows?
All right. So, Tananarive Dew, Kelsey Ramsey, Joe Villarubia, and Jeff Powell are bringing us Moondogs, a story featuring a group of East African werewolves living in Miami that delves into being part of a minority within an even smaller minority. So that should be another interesting thing to read. I don't know much about Miami, but I know there's a lot of different groups there, so it should be an interesting feel. This one I just like to say, Motherfucking Monsters is brought to us by Jay Holtham and Michael Lee Harris and follows an Evil Dead style of story. That's kind of all we have for that one. Looks like fun though. And then finally, Finders Keepers. This one sounds awesome. I'm going to be looking after this one too. It's a story combining Robin Hood and Indiana Jones, wherein the main character steals artifacts from museums and returns them to their native cultural homes. And this is brought to us by Vita Ayala, Sky Partridge, and Becca Carey. The Manchurian will be released first, arriving at your LCS on September 25th, and each of the others will be coming to us on a monthly basis following that. So,
awesome.
It's a neat experiment, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm going to
and they've done stuff like this in the past, done one shot to test the water, and if they sell well, then they continue. Then they'll do a new series. So hopefully,
I like the direction that they took with it. So and there's so much darkness to it again that I'm going to be like,
that last one, Finders Keeper, sounds like Tomb Raider, but in reverse.
It's like a reverse Indian. No, I think like reverse Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I'm gonna steal this back and bring it back to the guys that are gonna rip my heart out of my chest.
There you go.
Yep.
All right.
And
I feel like there's one more.
This would be for Drew.
Yes, I know it. There's one. I know. It's like there's one more. So, New York Times bestselling and Eisner Award-winning writer and artist Jeff Lemire, along with Steve Wands, are doing something new here by having his first ever creator-owned ongoing series to Boom Studios. So this will be in his project coming to stores September 2024 called Minor Arcana. So this story essentially is combining small town life with the magical realism and supernatural mystery. So these are the kind. So basically, kind of think like the stuff that you saw on his work on Essex County and Sweet Tooth. So he's both writing and drawing it, so allowing that nice immersive feel. And he's loving it. He basically said that if Black Hammer, which is his love letter to superhero comics, which I cannot recommend enough, was his love letter to comics he grew up. Minor Arcana is his love letter to classic Vertigo comics of his youth, but through his own perspective/style. So the story is, and I feel like Kari, this is just speaking to you. So Teresa, the prodigal daughter of a small town psychic tarot reading fraud, begrudgingly returns home to care for her ailing mother after being left home for good. Arriving back in her childhood hometown, seemingly untouched by time, Teresa learns that there may be more to the magic than she originally believed. And with that, she finds herself caught up in a town that desperately needs her help. The main cover is, of course, by Jeff Lemire, and the variants are by others like Tula Lotay, Dustin Nguyen, David Mack, and more. Each issue of Arcana will feature a special tarot card variant cover illustrated by Lemire, culminating in a full tarot deck at the end of the series, starting with issue 1's being the Fool card. So, again, Jeremy, I just feel like this is just screaming Kari.
Yeah.
Now, is it? You said it's going to be the entire tarot deck, or is it going to be the major arcana? It's called the minor arcana, but
yeah, it just says it just says culminating in a full tarot deck at the end of the series.
That's going to be over 70 comics then.
Yep.
To get a full tarot deck. So nice.
Yeah. So, like
it'd be hard to shuffle though.
Indeed. So, like I said, everybody, this will be in shops September 2024. So definitely keep an eye out for it. So,
I like the art.
All right.
Very nice.
All right. So,
it is.
Yet again, you've made it to the end. Thank you. You could have been watching anything right now. You could have been watching the latest episode of The Boys, but you chose to come here first. Thank you. We appreciate you. Okay, I'm good. I said my piece. I don't know.
All right.
I guess so.
Kari, where do you like people following you at?
Oh yeah, right.
Well, you can find me at Kari Sanders on Facebook. If you see a crow as the avatar, that would be me. I have a lot going on right now. We just released I'm here on Tuesday nights with these lovely gents and often Leo. And I'm also over on the Owlite Network, which is also part of the Dorkening Network. And we just released a book called The Owlite Menagerie, which is an anthology of authors from the Owlite Network, as well as some of the other friends of the network and people that we've had on, we've interviewed before. And all of the proceeds for that are going to Pro Literacy, a charity that helps with adult literacy. Thanks. Sorry, I just got distracted. I'm an author. I word good. But yeah, you can go check me out over there. And coming up this week, I am going to be going to Kansas City. So taking a nice break. And how about you, Jeremy? Where can we find you?
Find me everywhere and anywhere. Mainly on Facebook though. And on Still Token tomorrow night at 7:00, we will be talking to a cannabis entrepreneur. Yeah, that's the seller, right?
The fancy word, yes.
Yes, entrepreneur. And finding out all the ins and outs of the cannabis industry. That'll be a lot of fun. And join us here next week as we put on another great show with another great guest, as Drew's going to tell you.
Hello, I am Drew, and I'm here to tell you that you are great for staying this long, because some other people definitely left, and I definitely didn't pay the tab, so that's on you, kid. You can find me on Facebook. I'm Drew Mollo. I'm Ghostbuster Man 1984. on Instagram, which I've been using a lot more often. Thank you, Kari. I'm here nor there. I definitely am going to be taking a break from social media sometime soon, just to need that nice little solitude from constantly posting, and I can only do this so much. But yes, and our next guest is not a guest, because we are doing a special event commemorating a notable moment that will be happening next Tuesday or sometime that week. So we will be doing another of our special live readings. And with that live reading, we are going to be adapting one of the, in my opinion, best Dark Horse Hellboy stories ever written and created, The Crooked Man by Mike Mignola and the late great Richard Corbin. So that means that, yes, 3 of these people and maybe a few others are own in distinct way, which means, well, you might want to get your sleep now, because you're definitely not going to get some after we're done.
Naturally. With that,
All right, everybody. Take care.
I am not a crook.
Excelsior!